Welcome everyone to the Wheels Museum. We're so happy this morning to have Richard and Shirley Flint speaking about the book Overhaul, which they wrote about the rail yards at my request. And it makes me think about the 31 years that I have worked to try to save this property and make progress for the city of Albuquerque and the state of New Mexico. I started this project in 1994 when I found out that the site here, the 27-acre iconic Santa Fe Railroad steam locomotive repair shops, was for sale with all the buildings, over 1 million square feet of building, for $2 million. And I called the Burlington about 50 times. They would not answer my phone call. And why should they? They didn't know who I was or anything, and I really didn't know much about it either, but I wanted to learn and I was very interested. At that time, I was running our family business, the Freed Company, next door to the Chemo Theater. And after all the phone calls, a man came in from Catellus, which was the real estate department for the Burlington Railroad. And he asked me to write a document about what I wanted. And I told him, I cannot write a document because I've never even seen the property. And he walked out on me. He didn't thank you, nothing, he just walked out. And a few weeks later, he came back and he said, would you write me a letter that you want to see the property? And I said, yes, of course I'll be happy to write a letter that I want to see it. And I did so, and weeks went by, and finally he came into our place of business, Freed Company, with an armed guard. And I always think that's funny because I wasn't dangerous, but maybe he thought I was dangerous. So he brought me over to the property and he took me into the machine shop. And when I went into the magnificent 800,000 square foot machine shop, which had lain fallow since it closed in 1977, I broke down crying. I couldn't believe that such an important property was in the heart of downtown Albuquerque, just failing, just falling. The windows were getting broken more every day, and no one seemed to care that this was the reason that Albuquerque became a city. So I gathered together a few friends and people who were interested, and we went to see the then mayor, who did not evince interest in it. But I called Mayor Chavez, who had been the mayor and wanted to be the mayor again, and we began working very, very closely on an almost weekly basis. I formed a board, and in 1999 we were able to form a board. It took me years to do that. We have been in 7 locations. It started at our place of business. I was in other places. The newspaper owner, Tom Lang, gave us 2 properties. The city allowed us to be in the transit center. We were in other properties that people were helping us. And in 2007, after having worked with 5 failed developers, very closely worked with all of them, we learned that a Texas developer wanted to tear down the entire property. And I had been working with Bill Richardson and Marty Chavez and Ike Benton and other people, and we came to the conclusion, which had been my wish all along, that the city must buy the property. It scared me to death that some developer would come in and tear it down, or would ruin our history and our culture and do something highly inappropriate for our Varela, South Broadway, Tuning Highlands, Martinez Town, Old Town, Downtown, our entire city and our entire state. And at that time, we purchased the property as a city for $8.5 million. Wheels Museum was able to put $2 million into the purchase price, thanks to the generosity of Bill Richardson. And we did that with a mandate to make a museum on the property. It's been a very, very difficult struggle all along. There have been many, quote, wars that we've had to fight to save the culture and the history here and not have something wrong done with the property. When Mayor Keller was going to run for the mayor, he asked me to have a breakfast with him privately, and I did so. He said, I want to learn about the rail yards. And we had a wonderful breakfast, and he told me, I want the rail yards to be my legacy project. I'm giving you 31 years of history in a few minutes here. I am very grateful to all the people who have helped, the elected people, the volunteers, the board of Wheels Museum. Been many, many people who have helped us. Adele Hundley, who was a city councilor and a state legislator, has been on our board since the beginning, very instrumental in getting the $2 million. We have a webmaster who's been on our side and helping us for over 30 years. Many people have been with us the whole time, and many people have come in new lately and all during the period. Engineers, doctors, lawyers, business people, corporate people to help us. We've done over 25 major fundraisers, and we're doing another fundraiser October 24th at the St. John's Methodist Church. It's a dinner party, and that money will be going to a new project that we have, which is the Babbitt and Welding Shop, which is just to our east here, for an additional 5,000 square feet for the Wales Museum. So we're trying to grow. We're also working on the machine shop, which is about a $150 million project. And we've done federally funded studies that show we can bring 1 million people a year if we make that happen, with steam locomotives, other museums, of course our museum, the market, many other aspects. We met with UNM last week with great interest about the potential of this project. Very happy to tell you how we've made progress. Here's a picture of Joe Craig and me when we started Wheels Museum. He and I worked closely together for many, many years. He passed away recently, but we talked on the phone every single day for a long, long time and met with many, many people. One of the people we met with was Senator Pete Domenici. I have a letter from him from the United States Senate, 2001, and he wrote to me, "Dear Leba, thank you for your letter. I'm proud to support the Wheels Museum and its important efforts in chronicling the history of transportation. During the appropriations process, I will do my best to support your request for funds to support the museum. Thank you again for contacting me on this important issue. Please feel free to contact me if I could be of any further assistance." Signed, Senator Pete V. Domenici, United States Senator. So I treasure this letter. I'm very thrilled to be able to say that we have received over 30 awards for our work. Here's one that we got that I think is very nice. This is a 2024 Heritage Preservation Award. This came from the state of New Mexico. We are doing everything we can to save our history, our culture. When the railroad came to New Mexico, came to Albuquerque, Albuquerque was only a few thousand people. The machine shop had 1,500 men to 2,000 men a day. So a quarter of the male workforce in time worked there. 27 nationalities came to Albuquerque to work here. It made us a melting pot. There were over 400 jobs, different jobs here on the railroad. When World War II came, there were 2,000 men a day working 24 hours a day to fight Hitler. There were women working. Ladies would come at midnight to clean the locomotives. The effort was unbelievable of how our community gathered together, and the railroad helped to build our country and is still building our country. When I give field trips to children, I do field trips, I always ask them, what are the 3 railroads that pass 5 feet from us every single day still? The Rail Runner, our commuter rail, Amtrak for passengers, and of course the BNSF for freight. So these are vitally important parts of America, and we could not exist without them. Here's another nice award. I helped start the Rail Yards Market, and the Rail Yards Market has become very, very successful. It's open on Sundays, and we have a booth there from 10 to 2. And this week we're going to have a kind of an interesting scavenger hunt there. I hope you'll come to the market and you'll see that. Here's a little award from the Shriners. We go to many places to talk about the Wheels Museum, and we've had over 200,000 visitors come to us from around the world. We had people last week from Romania and Ukraine and many, many places. So we're thrilled to be able to showcase what we are doing and have done in New Mexico to people from all over the world who love what we're doing here. We received a very beautiful complimentary letter from a lady last week. In fact, she sent it to the mayor. She's in Bethesda, Maryland, and she's a very top museum consultant. And she said, I love the Wheels Museum. It's very eclectic. It's very fascinating here. So we hope that you will visit us and that you will see what we're doing. We're always looking for volunteers. We have wonderful volunteers. We need more. We'd like to be open more hours. We'd like to help more. help with fundraising, marketing, exhibits, greeting people at the door. We work with many disabled people. We're an unusual museum. We often have dogs in here, and we have a great deal of fun and enthusiasm. We have a train that takes people around the exhibits, and we've recently made it a bubble train. So if you come in, you can ride the bubble train, and bubbles will come on you and bring fun to you and your children and grandchildren. So I hope that you will come see us. We're at 1100 2nd Southwest on the rail yards, the Wheels Museum. Thank you so much. We're always looking for ideas. So if you have an idea or suggestion, please feel free to call me. My number is 505-243-6269. So come and see us. Thank you.